A few nights ago, I couldn't sleep and I woke up and I did my inquiry. And there was profound spaciousness and stillness, emptiness there.
Okay. I want to just slow down and hear what you're saying because for me it's profound enough, even from the start. You say you got up and you felt to do your inquiry, and by doing that, you found that there was a profound stillness. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
And something hit me really, really hard because it was some recognition that this stillness, it's not just something that is felt, and it hit me. This is actually me.
Yes. Yes.
And it was few moments, I don't know how long it took, but then it was like I was pushed out of heaven. And since then, the Maya seems been playing really loudly.
Yes.
And I can look at it. Different states of personalities can be seen. But something doesn't feel right because a few days ago you asked us to try locate ourselves. Where are we looking from? Are we looking as mind,
Yes.
or are we looking as this space, or something in between?
I ask, are you looking? What is your position in this act of perceiving? Are you looking from mind, as the mind looking, or are you looking at mind? Yes. And if you're looking at mind, what are you, or who are you that's looking? And to really slow down and clarify. Yeah.
Yeah. And in my inquiry, I was asking myself this question: who am I? Who am I who is looking? And it seems there is some kind of personhood there. It doesn't feel really
Okay, stop.
something's
So
wrong.
you ask the question, who am I who is doing the looking? Who am I who is doing the looking? And then your report is, it seemed like some kind of person is doing the looking. Okay? You with me? So if you detect that it's a person, maybe there's a person actually doing the looking, then what is seeing that is a person doing looking? If a person looking is detected, then there must be a deeper awareness in which a person looking is also seen. Let's not move too fast so you can catch up with what I've just said. I don't want to pile you up with a lot of instructions and information, but that you can directly verify if this is true or not. This is the power, that's the sadhana, that's the power of your, not just what you're looking at, but what it is that's doing the looking. And you say it looks like a person is doing the looking, a very common assumption. But I'm pushing a bit further. If the person is doing the looking, obviously the sense that the person is looking is also seen from something much subtler than the person. If the person becomes itself a phenomenon carrying out a function, do you understand this?
Yes, I understand, but still, when I'm looking,
Yes.
the sense of personhood seems to be more real to me than
Yes. Again, the sense of personhood feels more real to me. Me being the person. Let's slow down because it's very subtle, very subtle. And when something is very subtle, the mind tends to say it's too complicated. I don't want it. But it's only because the light is on it. We are here to clarify. So this one who is feeling, yeah, it feels like actually It's the person. Could you say again in your own words what you say?
Yeah, I said that this it feels the sense of personhood seems to be more real.
Yes. By real, what do you mean?
Somehow the attention can be more get more identified with it.
Yes. Is this the report of an observing? Is this a report coming from a function of observing something? You say, mind seems to be more real. Something is saying the mind feels to be more real. Let's slow down. Something, or this admission is coming out that the mind feels more real. To who? What is determining the reality of mind in that moment of seeing? Don't assume. Look. Don't search for an image, though. You can at first search for an image. Because I think, if I ask, what is seeing mind looking? Then maybe the mind takes us up to look and see what is looking, mind looking. You follow? But if you sense that's what's happening, whatever, if it says the mind itself is looking, don't forget that that is all perceivable. So in that subtlest place of perceiving, in which something as intimate as the mind searching for something itself is detected, what really is here? You say the mind seem more real. Who is saying the mind seem more real?
The person itself.
The person is saying. The person itself, she's saying, is saying the mind seem more. Wow, that is powerful if it's this true. Who is saying the mind seem more real? And you say the person itself is saying. So as it affected or troubled that which is aware of that voice claiming to be the seer, saying, but actually there's something going on over there, and it's being taken to be fundamentally real here. You follow or not? It's very subtle. Because it's subtle, and because it's so powerfully exposing, there is a little tendency to just give up and say, oh, it's all the mind, it's too much, you know. But watch this also, because if that was a reaction that come, that also is seen. In the place of seeing, no movement has happened for the seeing place. And we do need to experience that intensity of perceiving to really be able to use it to really see who really suffers. And if the sufferer is ultimate, or is the sufferer also an idea, the idea I have of myself as a sufferer is suffering its projections or something. It's very subtle. But if it is true, what happens if that is seen, that is still the mechanics of the mind, something is playing, victim and victor, and all of this is seen. But the capacity to see is not compromised unless we identify, oh, it's me, I don't know what to do, and then you believe that, and there's a loss of contact with the deeper place of seeing because something gives in. The mind, and you see, wait a second, in the seeing, it seems as though something is saying, but what's really here? Because you're asking, who really am I here? And then the mind comes to answer. And the mind says, well, it looks like all there really is here is just a person. And that is ordinarily accepted because it's not challenged. And the registration just continue to feed into a pattern of believing all these things. If I call the witnessing place, the place of impersonal awareness. Can any experience be so loud as to remove the capacity to observe? This is a good point, no? And out of this, even though you're struggling, all this is like growth hormone for you in your, So this conclusion I'm looking at, I'm not letting it go. It looks like everything is the mind. Or what did you say? What was your answer about this?
I think my answer was that the person itself believes
Yes.
what these mind projections are telling.
Yeah. So
And
is that
this
the
can be
ultimate?
observed.
Is that the ultimate conclusion? Is that where we abandon the inquiry, we have come to the very crux of it, and now the final observation is that the person, or finish off now. Is that what you are then? Something says it's the person, fills the old space, it's all the person. And was that accepted as, so, okay, I got my answer.
No,
No, okay, so
no,
carry
I'm not
on.
satisfied with this.
Good. And whatever is not satisfied also is also something, a shape also, that is also observed. Something is itching for an answer that's tangibly recognized. Something is itching. What is it? What is it? Who is really here? And it's looking. The habit is to search for something phenomenally recognizable. And the best it did was, it is the person. The person is doing it. And sometimes, maybe at an earlier stage of your inquiry, you may just say, finally I see that's actually it's the person. Everything at the end is person. But you say, I'm not satisfied. Further looking reveals what? Can that which is seen be objectively recognized? Can the seer be seen? Is there a phenomenal seer seeing? And if you said yes, then something more subtle must have seen that. The ultimate seer cannot be seen because it cannot be an object of perception. You cannot come to a final seeing to say, yes, I found the ultimate and I can describe what it looks like, and you would be aware to do that. What is your position who say, I can see that? Something apart from, if you say, I found the ultimate truth, are you somewhere separated from the ultimate truth to say, yes, I can see that's the ultimate truth? If this is yourself, you cannot see yourself. Not as other kinds of seeing. And every other kind of seeing is a movement in duality. Every kind of seeing. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just, that's the nature of it. Whatever you perceive cannot be what you are. I'm saying what you are, and normally when you think of yourself, you have a shape about yourself and a history. Is that what I mean by yourself? Every idea you have of yourself is not consistent, it's not stable. Even if no one else is involved, your own idea of yourself is changing constantly. And there's a capacity to observe, again, my idea of myself has changed. And the idea you have of yourself cannot be yourself. Carry on.
Yeah, I can sense that the personhood is changing, and it has changed many times since I'm come to Sahaja, and many times before. It changes.
Yes,
and I can't rely on it.
You can or cannot?
No, I
Yes.
can't.
Yes. You being the person, something other than the person. Why is a person so powerful? Because it is your favorite concept. your most persistent concept. Is the person reliable? You're saying no. What is seeing that the person is not reliable? Is that reliable? And does that fluctuate?
No.
Thereafter, everything you see fluctuates. And because you're not invested in the fluctuation, you're free of it actually. What remains? Does that fluctuate? Is that growing? Can that be disappointed or even excited even?
No.
And so therefore it is totally boring.
Yeah, to the mind.
To the mind, okay. But you mind the mind, so then of course you take the mind's, as we have done for so long, the mind's assessment is preserved in you as a kind of fact or, something quite reasonable. Your affection for the infection, I'm going to call it that, which is the belief I am this and calling yourself something, restricts your unlimitedness. I'm maybe premature to say unlimitedness. I'd rather you tell me that than I tell you that. In the place where everything is perceivable, even the subtlest of movement is perceivable, is that space fluctuating?
No.
Is that worth knowing?
Yes.
Because?
Because it's the most natural thing. It's
Yes, and what sees it? What knows this?
I can't put a definition on it.
Yeah. But it is kind of known. Is it known by something other than itself?
No.
Make sure. Take time. Make sure. Don't create. Sober looking.
I can't find anything else.
Yes. If you had, say, for instance, you had some operation and you were rendered unconscious for a while, and now you're coming out back into a state of consciousness, and say your impression was that there was nothing to see for a moment. You have the impression that your hands are out, but you can't see them. There's nothing to see. There's no spatial relationship to say, that's the doctor over there, and so there's nothing. There's nothing to measure where your location is. Would you doubt that you exist? You have nothing phenomenal to compare. Would you know that you exist? How you know?
No.
When that knowing is your ever-present ground, not something standing on the ground, but the very ground of isness. And you say from here, if you have seen clearly that the mind in its most sophisticated illusoriness is still catchable, means it's detected. Because if you ask, who am I? The mind will take this question and it says, I really don't know. I can't find. Or it may say, I am the beingness. And if you are used to these kind of words, you may accept that as a concept, but don't know the reality of that. I'd rather say, rather than saying, who am I at that moment, stay with the fact that whatever it is that appears through the senses or the mind are perceivable phenomena. Whatever, any subtle movement, even the breath, even the blood moving through the veins, if it was audible, is perceived only to the consciousness, apart from which nothing exists, not even you. Because with the arising of consciousness comes the awareness of yourself as a living being. So everything is subsequent to the consciousness, which cannot be compared with anything else. Does that connect at all? Can consciousness be studied? That's maybe a little bit more of a later question. Can consciousness itself be perceived? And if it can be perceived, because you can say that consciousness is the manifestor or the creator of everything appearing in it. But the consciousness itself also appeared. In a common way, I can say, in the arising of the waking state, the phenomenal waking state, consciousness is the arising of consciousness that brings with it the sense of existence and the sense of being a self, of being a self. You may call that self-beingness, or the vibration, the intuition, the sense I exist, comes with the consciousness. But if consciousness comes, it must come in something that's already prior to it also. I don't know if we can start to go down this road yet. It's enough if you can come to the place of the consciousness whereby everything is seen. This is not an intellectual exercise, you know that. I'm not interested in intellectual exercises merely for the pleasure of the sense of knowing something. It must be your direct experience. And if it is your experience, can you truly suffer the world? I'm just checking. Because you started by saying you want to clarify something, you're having some trouble with your inquiry. Are you still having trouble with your inquiry?
No, it's clarified now that as I perceive it now, that also the one that is asking question, who am I, can be seen.
Yes. The one that's asking who am I can be seen in what form, is it?
Sorry?
The one who is asking who am I, you say it can be seen. What form is it to be seen, if it's perceivable? Or is it just that the question being asked is seen?
It's not just a question, it's also this this sense, this energy that comes with it, that is so known.
Yes, the
as
energy of
my person.
Of a personal existence is there inside. It's like pulsing inside the isness,
Strong.
inside the consciousness. Is that clear for you?
Yes.
So if that pulse change, is there any change in the consciousness itself that perceive it?
No.
No. Does it make any difference to you? In terms of the inquiry that was struggling before.
Yeah, it somehow right now it brings more space in.
It brings or reveals.
Because
or it removes the claustrophobia? Can space be brought, or is it more that something that create the sense of blockage is removed, and you see that actually space didn't come from one place to another place. It got revealed that the space is here, or
Yeah, it's here.
yes.
It's always here, actually, but somehow it gets crowded. But with this idea and go with this identification, when the
What does it get crowded mean? Is that can the space be actually crowded, and so the space runs out of space? Or is it just apparently? It feels like, but when
Feels
looked
like.
for, yeah. But when looked for, is it true? Can the space be so filled that space disappear?
oh,
Is this a moment of seeing that's only real for this moment? Is the seeing limited to something called a present moment, or is this seeing another kind of quality? Is it just like an experience in this moment, like now I see, then later I don't see? Can the seeing be just not the seeing of an object, but the pure seeing, the capacity to perceive itself? Can it be limited? Seeing, not talking about creative seeing, not talking about necessarily becoming involved with the objects of perception, but just the capacity to perceive, let's put it like that. Can it be compromised, like it's just too much to bear? Can the seeing become just too much to bear outside of an idea that that is true? Can it be really true? If you remain as the formless seeing, rather than as a person or an entity seeing something. Anyone can take this question. And I don't want any conceptual responses, you know. Just clear seeing, what remain. In the ultimate or final analysis, are we left with an object of perception? Don't create. Or you can. You've been creating anyway, we are used to that. But for a moment, only see, and you may confirm something. But you being what? In what mode are you responding from? Is this all too complex for us? Okay, just checking. For me, these pointers are totally practical. It's not philosophical. I'm not interested in philosophy or in, imparting some intellectual conviction or, piling up knowledge, informational knowledge of absolutely no value here. What are you left as? Without trying to fight the world of phenomenality, what are you? To whom is all this world that you know? To who is it that bears the weight of it? Because as soon as we take this gross bodily identity on, and everything that comes with it, it's very easy to be in a chaotic field, and we are constantly living in a state of anxiety that becomes normalized because we are all like that. And only upon recovering the recovering consciousness, waking up to in the simpler way that is being pointed, and actually can confirm this. Whoa! But all this that I've been describing myself to be is now become just theoretical and illusory and phenomenal. To this, I have no real history. And daily life also has something to say about it, because everything we experience on a daily basis, which feels so actual and real in a moment, another few hours and it's gone, untraceable, apart from the feeble functions of memory which retain a subjective view of that action. There is no object reality about anything we are experiencing on the basis of personhood, because you alone to yourself will even argue with your previous experience in the way that you hold on to it. I wonder if you follow that point. And how amazing that we don't have to reject the world or to reject life even. In fact, the life being lived, even with some phenomenal qualities, is still being used to sharpen your discernment in some way, as you're making that transition from person to presence and from presence to absoluteness. Who is speaking like this in our time here? Who is looking in this way and not just searching on the ever-changing playing field of phenomenality for a meaning, for profound meanings which are impossible on the field of phenomenality? They're always changing. Your goal's always changing. Even the idea you have of yourself, however elevated, is always subject to change, because you're in the field of change. And yet your capacity to see from the stable place of beingness is always there. And at a certain point, you will come to see we have been missing the obvious, which is only obvious when it becomes obvious. I've said many things, but it's all about the same thing. Of which nothing can truly be said. It's like everything is momentary, just like the clouds are floating by in the sky. The sky has no favorite clouds, and nothing sticks. The clouds are part of the sky. The sky doesn't say, look, I'm not very sky-like today because a lot of clouds. It's all part of it. But the essence of the sky is unchanging. The effects in the sky is always changeful. But nothing is sticking. Not deeply. There may appear to be some things you may say that feels, yes, this is so and so on, but your beingness will not confess it, that this is so. Yes, it's also momentary. And you will change in the way that you share very spontaneously, depending on who you're speaking with and the quality of the consciousness, whether it's receptive to you or not receptive. You will intuitively tune in. You don't have to read someone's resume to know anything about them, because you're so fresh, you don't have to relate to something phenomenal. You're just in presence with each other. And even if only one is in presence, that's already something very powerful. Are you collecting information? No. Thank you. Very good.